things just took a very interesting turn for the Golden State Warriors. After having essentially no chance at making the playoffs, Steph Curry goes nuclear against Kawhi Leonard and the Los Angeles Clippers, now giving this Warriors team a chance to beat the Phoenix Suns and advance to the first round of the playoffs, getting quite the treat. It all goes down tonight on Amazon Prime. Should be a fun one. Tell me how you feel in the comment section down below about all these streaming services now picking up these games. We got Prime, we got Peacock, we got all of these different channels. A lot of people talking about it's hard to go now to like an event or a bar or something like that to watch these games because they can't always get these streaming services. Just let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. But first things first, massive game tonight in a position where, everyone counted out this Golden State Warriors team as they have done so many times. And who steps up, as he always does, in the play-in? Steph Curry. When you look at what he's been able to do over the past many play-in performances of his career, he's been incredible. Continuing to deliver in the clutch, something he's done since the very beginning of his career. There were a lot of people who said Steph Curry's not clutch, he can't do it at that time of the game, all this type of stuff, and he just continues to get better and better and better, ultimately winning the Clutch Player of the Year a couple years ago, and then again in a single elimination series. You should know from what you saw Steph Curry do at the college level with Davidson to beat all those top teams, make a deep run in college. I mean, this man's been doing it since day one. And at the end of the day, put yourself in a position beating this Clippers team to advance. Just comes down to tonight, April 17th, 10 p.m. Eastern against the Phoenix Suns. Should be a fun one. And before we get any further into the video, this video is brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 sports picks app, and it's honestly just the best way to get into all of the action. When you download Prize Picks using the link in the description, make sure to use code DIGEST. You play 5, get $50 instantly in bonus lineups. Make sure to use that code DIGEST, D-I-G-E-S-T. I might suggest you a different code, but code DIGEST really helps us out on the channel. It supports us a ton. Also, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying all this content right here on Warriors Digest. We'll talk about a pick that I have for tonight's big matchup a little bit later in the video, but first things first, let's talk about, again, Steph Curry and this Warriors team with a massive opportunity tonight. Nick Friedel coming out and pretty much summarizing exactly what all these Warriors fans are thinking, and pretty much everyone across the league right now. When you have a player that isn't afraid to play at a different level and can raise the level of his own game when his team needs him the most, you have a guy who fits and can help you win at any time. And that's exactly who Steph Curry is. I was having a conversation a couple days ago with a buddy, and we're talking about, sure, is Steph maybe not the guy that he was in 2022? Certainly maybe not 2016 at his peak, unanimous MVP levels of play. But he can still flip a switch and get to that point. Maybe he's not consistently because he's getting older, doesn't maybe have the productivity that he once used to, even just from a speed and awareness standpoint, he's not quite there, right? Doesn't have that 2016 mentality all the time, but he does have that flip of a switch still that he can do like he did the other night to put up 35 and advances to the next round. It's just incredible to watch this guy to continue to deliver. The best piece of individual entertainment in sports has been since the early 2010s and continues to be. And when you talk about what he's surrounded with, right? Draymond, despite all the discredit to Steve Kerr, all the hate, Draymond coming out and saying, hey, when your back is against the wall, right, you don't want another coach. Everyone on this Warriors team wants Steve Kerr. They trust Steve Kerr. They've been around him for a while. The confidence and the chemistry that Steph and Dre have and the rest of this team, a lot of that comes from the fact that they trust Steve Kerr in big moments to make the right decision time and time again. That's what he's proven that he will do. He's also, despite what a lot of people say, I would make the argument that he actually has developed guys pretty well. When you look at this roster over the last couple of years, Moses Moody, Guy Santos, Will Richard, Jordan Poole, Brandin Podziemski, these are all guys that he developed pretty quickly. And I know maybe they haven't reached all-star levels of status yet, but they have steadily improved under a guy in Steve Kerr who has understood the best ways to coach them. People are going to look at the Kuminga situation and say this doesn't happen. But if your odds are, 5 guys turned out pretty well and 1 didn't, then people tend to forget Moses Moody's still 23, and he's jumped up and gotten better and better and better. Points per game have skyrocketed every single year, now at a point where he's playing pretty well. The injury hurts you, but he'll come back better, even more next year. Guy Santos probably would have won Most Improved Player this year if it weren't for some other guys having some incredible years. Santos potentially will be in the running for that next year as well, but I just love the way the Kerr has developed these guys over the last couple of years. Again, people are going to discredit that, say whatever you want, but I'm going to trust the guy who actually is coached by him, and that's Draymond Green when he has things to say like this. Potentially the coldest quote that came out from the other night, Darius Garland on Steph Curry, 30 did what 30 does. It just really comes down to that. Clippers had control of that game. You see the score right there below you, 126-121. Clippers had control of the game all night long. They looked excellent for large portions of that game. But then Draymond, in that fourth quarter, alongside what Steph Curry was able to do, Draymond wind guarding Kawhi, 6 points, 3 of 11, 4 turnovers, held 0 points in the fourth quarter. He had one quick layup towards the end of the game that gave him 20, which is crazy because Kawhi's now scored 20 points in like 54, 55 straight games. Second in that streak only to SGA, who's done it for a couple of seasons now at this point. But for Draymond to be able to do that in the clutch alongside Steph, who I have to agree with Carson Breber on Twitter saying people are way too eager to take Steph Curry out of conversations that he still belongs in. People want to talk about. We got Anthony Edwards, we got Shea, we got Jokic, we got Luka, all these guys. That's at the top. People they tend to forget that Steph, when he has it on, when he's playing at the top of his game, when he's fully healthy, is still, in my eyes, a top 5 player in this league. There's only a few guys that I would take over him. In the clutch, there's no one I would rather have than Steph Curry. He still commands and elevates the level of play of his team more than anyone in the league currently. Wembanyama's been great. Jokic, all these guys have done incredible things throughout the first early moments of their careers, right? Jokic, these guys have been around for a little bit longer, but specifically at Wembanyama. But I still want Steph Curry in the clutch. I still, if I'm starting a franchise and we're starting from step 0, I'm still picking Steph Curry. I understand who knows how long he's going to be able to continue to move forward in his career. And if you're talking about building a franchise and everyone's 20 years old, then yeah, I want Steph. Now, things change a little bit now when you've got a 20-year-old Victor Wembanyama and a younger Jokic and Anthony Edwards and things like that. But still, right now, if I wanted one guy to put on my playoff team heading into a playoff stretch, it's Steph Curry and it's nobody else because of the way that he elevates his team higher than anyone else does in this league. Straight up, I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on tonight's game. Phoenix, Golden State, going to be a fun one. I think anyone's crazy at this point to pick to pick Phoenix with the momentum that Golden State has. I think there's a lot of confidence builders that took place the other night. Steph Curry, Steve, these guys coming out basically saying we were champions again for another night. And when they get that championship mentality, winning is a skill. You put them in these single elimination type atmospheres. Steph Curry, Draymond, these guys are going to rise to the occasion. They certainly did the other night. I expect them to do it again tonight. I expect a Phoenix loss. I expect Golden State to come out on top. And the reason that this took an interesting turn is because I think we actually match up pretty well with Oklahoma City. I think having Porzingis is really something that's special for us to match him up alongside Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein. I'll take Draymond over anyone on that side defensively. Steph, at his best, is still a more elite clutch player and shooter than Shea is. Shea's been incredible. I don't want to knock anything that OKC team has done. Now getting another lottery pick because the Warriors beat the Clippers because the Thunder own that Clippers pick. But at the end of the day, I still think that there's an opportunity for this Warriors team to make some noise. Maybe we don't go out and win the series, but I don't think we're getting swept. I think we at least steal 2 or 3 games from that Thunder team, put ourselves in a position to have some more fun. At the end of the day, it comes down to, I don't know how much longer we're going to get to watch Steph Curry play basketball. So in this position, the fact that we get to maybe watch him for another series is enough of a treat for me. This was originally at 27.5. It's kind of bounced back and forth between 26 up to 27 up to 28 and back. But at this point, again, I'll show you what Steph Curry has done in the play-in. He's been incredible. Other than that one game against Sacramento where Clay had 0 points, Draymond was terrible, our entire team basically folded. Steph has averaged 37. I mean, he's just been ridiculous in the play-in, so I would expect him to continue to do that tonight and eclipse that mark of 28.5 points. I expect him to have more than 28. I would expect him, even if this line rose to 39, I would punch that, get him to around that 30-point mark. Steph's just been fantastic. We saw it the other night. He had about 5 points through about a quarter and a half. Turned it on in that second half, had 16 in the third, closed it out in the fourth for a 35-point performance. I would smash that right now on Prize Picks. Thanks again to Prize Picks for sponsoring this video. Play 5, you get $50 instantly in lineups when you use code DIGEST. Link again is in the description below. It all comes down to tonight. You win, you advance, get a 7-game series. We literally turn around, fly to Oklahoma City, and play on Sunday. Crazy, the NBA playoffs after all that's happened this year kicks off tomorrow. Playing finishes up tonight. Should be a fun one. I've been Houston, but you guys have been the fans. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll catch you guys in the next one. As always, go Dubs. Peace.